Basta, halika na! Hintay-hintay ka pa dyan. Let's go!
Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to Eye to Eye. My name is Gabe Mercado and I am the host of this show. And Eye to Eye is all about having conversations about improvisation. Improvisation is an art, it's a practice, and it's a lot of fun to do. And today we're going to be talking about improvisation and its place in the corporate world. And I'm joined by three guests, and I'll be introducing them one by one. Our first guest is a brand manager who has been working with Nestlé for almost 7 years. He started off as a management trainee after he graduated and has since handled multiple brands. Show your love for Jin Ong. Hello,
Hi,
Jin.
Gabe. Morning.
Welcome to the show. Our next guest, Chrissie, is a marketer who has handled various FMCG categories from local and multinational companies. A lot of people were surprised when she joined Improv because based on how people know her at work, one can say that her decision was not on brand. Here is Chrissie. Hey, Chrissie.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. And our third guest, he tells teams that he works with, kapag hindi na masaya sa trabaho, gawan natin ng paraan. At pag hindi na talaga, maiksi lang ang buhay, ayawan na. Dahil bida sa kanya ang saya, kasama natin siya ngayong umaga, John Velasco.
Hey,
So
Gabe, good
welcome.
morning.
Hey John, welcome Jin, Chrissie, and John. Gusto ko munang to start with Chrissie, off-brand daw na mag-improv ka. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Actually, even my parents were kind of surprised when I joined because I only told them when there was already parang when we scheduled the showcase already for level 1. So people were kind of surprised na, huh? Ikaw? And of course, the general perception on improv is comedy na parang, ikaw nagko-comedy ka? Because, at work, I'm kind of, serious, when
Parang mabait pa yung description na serious.
medyo,
Did,
medyo seryoso and straightforward. So people were shocked that I was going to go on stage and, to them, based on their perception, do comedy according to them. So, yeah.
so when they actually did watch, ano naman ang naging reaction sa'yo?
I invited some friends from the office. There were 5 who went on level 1. Nag-enjoy naman sila. Even my parents were the whole time taking videos. And then sabi nila parang, pwede mo palang gawin. Pwede ka palang, you're funny pala. Parang gano'n. Okay lang.
What was the reaction for Jin and John when you first told people at the office or friends that you were taking improv?
Parang, well, kabaliktaran kasi kay Chrissy. Parang known ako in the office to be maingay, maboka. So parang they weren't all that surprised. Pero in the showcase, I think, medyo iba kasi yung mga syempre, huhugot ka ng diba, ng characters for years. Parang iba yung pinakita ko. Wow. So I think that's what surprised them as well, na parang there are other sides to me pala, parang gano'n.
Yeah. Well,
John.
ako, I think yung first showcase ko, parang alam din nila maingay ako, makulit. Pero first showcase ko, I think ang in-invite ko lang yung wife ko tsaka yung daughters ko eh. But when my wife posted it, bakit di ka naman nag-invite? Ganyan. So I guess, I think the second or third na in level 2, level 3. Mas parang mas kumapal na yung mukha ko. So mas marami na akong in-invite. So but the experience was still revealing for them na kaya niya pala gawin 'yon.
I
was
think,
that? Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, Jim. Go
I
ahead.
think what was more surprising sa office mates ko was yung how much yung demeanor ko changed in the office eh. Not so much in the showcase itself.
Sige, so how did it change in the office?
Parang parang mas nag-mellow down Ako? Like,
Baliktad.
over the years na nag-improv ako, parang sabi niyo, Jin, may ano pa ba? May fire ka? Di naman sa ano, wala yung fire. Pero parang before kasi sobrang palaban, sobrang rar, ganyan. And then parang di-notice daw na parang I'm much more chill after
May ganyan din
from,
sila sa akin sinabi.
Okay. So is that a good thing? Is that a good thing?
It's a good thing. In my
Okay.
May ganyan din sila sa akin, Jean, na sinabi na bakit parang hindi ka na nagkagalit ngayon? Or parang mas kalma ka ngayon?
No kidding. Ang gusto ko marinig si Chrissie, nangyari ba yan sa'yo?
I think ang nangyayari sa akin madalas was sa meeting, di ba? So after the first showcase and people know about it already, sa meeting parang, Chrissy, sige nga, improv ka nga. Sabi ko, hindi kasi ganun yun. So, yeah. And then parang, game nga, Chrissy, meron pa naman tayong 5 minutes bago mag-start. Improv ka nga. Kailangan mo lang, give me a suggestion. Yung pinatulan. Pero generally, I think I was more, parang, the impression that surprised, parang what I think surprised a lot of people was that I was making jokes and I was smiling a little bit more than they're used to. So, yeah.
How interesting. So what is it in improv? Because for people who haven't taken a class, it might be a little bit counterintuitive na tumahimik ka at mas naging kalma ka. What is it that made that happen?
I guess, sige, go Jean.
For me kasi, I mean, in an improv class, di ba, you're all so different. Di ba? So iba-iba kayo ng age, iba-iba kayo ng, di ba, ng backgrounds, ganyan. And eto, nung level 1 ako.
Parang natamaan lang ako sa iba't iba kayong age. Sorry. So but go on.
Nung level 1, as in sobrang sama talaga ng ugali ko. Na-realize ko naman yun na parang when I was in level 1, I had classmates na parang I thought that whatever they said weren't valid. Kasi nga mayabang ako dati. As in, I'm that kind of, alam mo yun, the usual na, overachiever, mayabang, full of himself, ganyan.
Safe space, no? Safe space to.
Safe space to, us and all the people watching.
Yung mga past classmates ko, parang, kasama kaya ako dun. Joke lang. Pero parang over the course of level 1 to 5, parang you realize na every offer is valid and it can,
Correct.
Everyone has something valid to say. So kumbaga, versus before, when I listen, it's with the intent to prove myself right. Alam mo yun, naghahanda na ako ng mga rebuttal. Parang now, when I listen, it's with really an intent to listen to what they're saying. Parang ganun.
Correct. Galing.
Para yumabang ka lang ng konti, Jin, balita ko nandito si Jin Ong, sobrang galing daw nun. Okay. Kaklase ni Jin. Okay. John, what is it like for you?
I think I became less judgmental. Because kasi pag pumasok ko sa class, makikita mo nga iba-iba. And I guess when I started, your usual biases and preconceptions, nagkikick in siya. But during the sessions, hindi. Natitame mo siya. Kasi kailangan mo yun eh. I guess, to Jean's point, you realize na, everything is a gift. Walang masamang tinapay. Na kung anong iba to sa'yo, you need that. So now when you go back to the office, na dati ito kinaiinisan mo, tapos you have that mindset now, hindi na ako naiinis sa kanya. So you get to know, you get to be more curious about that person. Kaya naman pala niya hindi, kaya siya may ganito kasi ganito. Or you take it and say, parang, di ba, we have this yes and, okay, ganyan ka, o sige, hindi ko naman maaalis yan eh. Pero sige, idadagdag ko to sa ginagawa natin. So may ganun siya. I became less judgmental and yun, kaya ka nagiging kalma. Kasi why do I have to judge you? You're a gift. Everything is a gift, good or bad.
Naks, ano.
Agree ba?
Yung naks, ang ganda, no? Para syempre no sinabi mo yung walang masamang tinapay, ang naisip ko yung iba't ibang mga pies na ino-offer ng Jollibee. Meron silang peach mango pie, open makapuno, and buko pie. And they can order it in packs of 6. Ginagawa ko yan. Chrissy, ano?
Be
um,
plugging.
be plugging. In terms of collaboration, did you see any effect?
Yeah, I think there's a big effect. The whole concept of yes and was very useful for me. Before kasi, parang, especially kunwari when you're doing something for a long time, you sort of know. Parang unang tingin mo pa lang, alam mo na kung ano yung pupuntahan ng discussion and alam mo na kung ano yung gusto mong maging output. But then, naturally, parang you can't go straight to that. Parang you have to engage people in a discussion and make them feel that, they're also part of this whole project that you're working on. So, ang naging easy tool for me to use is yes and na parang, okay, if you said something, it's not necessarily no. No, I don't think so because it has to be this way, this way. So, kailangan parang it's saying na yes, and you know what, we can also do this. And it just makes the collaboration more, ano ba, I guess it's less
Less contentious?
hindi less tense as well, and
Oo.
even for the facilitator, normally we facilitate collaborations with our teammates. Even during facilitations, parang the flow of discussion is easier because hindi kayo na-halt because may nag-no. So I just think that ESN was very useful in collaboration every day.
I think it also puts a fun atmosphere to the whole process. I remember, a long time ago when I was working in a corporate setting, brainstorm naman guys! Good ideas naman! Yung ganung atmosphere na it's not necessarily conducive. As opposed to improv where the yes and mentality, the atmosphere can really make it fun. We actually have we actually had some comments and questions sent ahead. And this one was from Mike from Tokyo. And his question was, how did you explain using improv in the corporate world to your colleagues or team? If that's happened to you.
I didn't. I didn't explain. I just ano lang parang may isa akong conversation about this colleague of mine. Out of nowhere, napablurt out ako sa kanya and then I told her, alam mo, I learned something somewhere na sabi ko sa kanya, sometimes it's not all about you. You have to make your partner look good. Parang may ganun ako. May sinabi ako, ha? Ano, sir? Sabi niya ganun. Ano ibig mong sabihin? So sa office, I don't explain that I'm doing improv, but you get to inject things that you know it's working for you mindset wise. So this person
Right.
that I was talking with, I told her, so when you make your partner look good, sabi ko, the irony of it, you're actually not pushing for yourself, but in the end,
Yes.
whatever you're doing, it's better. So it's not just you, him, her. It becomes better. So parang mas maganda siya. And again, mas relax kasi you're not trying to aspire to be number one. You're just, trying to help someone. And I guess, hindi naman ako santo, pero when you're trying to help someone, it makes the difference, and it's kind of parang infectious na siya rin gagawin niya din yon. So it's so for some reason the ego becomes more managed. Yeah. So I don't explain. I just just from time to time blurt things out.
Right. Kasi it leads up, and you can comment on the same vein, Jin and Chrissy, if you want. Kasi medyo same vein tong comment na to. Renaming or rebranding an activity so participants take it seriously enough to be engaged and maintain a level of involvement with them to produce aha moments when they do improv. Jin and Chrissy, have you done improv principles or even exercises, and did you call it improv?
I do. I have. Kunwari at work, a lot of people have asked me about improv kasi nga the impression is it's comedy. How do you learn how to do comedy? And ikaw parang you try to explain it. It's very hard to explain, but you try to explain actually it's not. It's about being connected with each other, speaking your truth, and parang just being vulnerable on stage, knowing that a lot of people with you on that scene will catch you and will take care of you. So I've used some of the concepts already at work. In fact, every Monday, starting last year, I'm doing check-ins with my team every Monday yun. So, in-explain ko sa kanila, parang, syempre yung mga tao, parang, ano na naman to, Chrissie? Anong pauso to? Like, bear with me and trust the process. It's going to be good. It will help everyone. Kasi especially when we went on lockdown, syempre connectedness was so hard to foster. So, sabi ko, okay, every Monday at 9 a.m., we will call each other between 9:30 to 1 hour, depends on how the conversations go, and we'll just talk about what happened to us last week, what inspired us, what's frustrating to us at the moment, and then that will help us all understand where that person is, and it will all help us realize how to work better with that person during that week. So noong una talaga they weren't buying it, parang okay lang, wala naman nangyari, but eventually people got used to talking about their experiences, and to the point that I'd like to think that people were already appreciating the value behind and the connectedness that we were fostering already in that regular session. So yun, yung checking in, malaking bagay yun. Everybody loves check-in. So
Everybody loves check-ins.
everybody loves check-in.
Sa comments ka yan ang mga ano yun ang mga comments about how check-ins are a integral part. And just for those who perhaps aren't familiar with the concept of check-ins, Jin, paliwanag mo nga yung check-in.
So, basically, each class starts with everybody in the group checking in, meaning just sharing something about what transpired in the week, diba? Or how you're feeling at the moment. At first, then when I was a student, kasi nga, when I initially signed up for improv, parang the intent was to learn how to perform So parang ano ba tong check-in na to? minsan pa.
Ang haba.
Ang haba. As in 1 hour, nag-check-in pa ko. So syempre, ako nga, parang ano ba, guys, kailan tayo magka-class? Parang gano'n. Pero over time, I realized din yung puhunan nung group in order to perform better as a team. Kasi sobrang connected yun na as people.
Yeah, I have to admit, even if I'm with the faculty, check-ins, ako yung pinaka naiinip na, God, guys, ang haba ng check-in. You can be Chrissy knows this, I was her teacher. You can be substantial but quick. But it's the ability to be able to know where people are coming from that allows you to listen more, that allows you to be more compassionate, that allows you to make each other look good. Yun ang mga na-realize ko. Ang daming mga comments. Si Joaquin, ito si Justin, check-ins for me establish the environment where everyone is valid and they are in a safe place to be true to oneself. And then,
actually, as a leader, parang Gabe, if I could add,
yes.
As a leader, it also helps you to be vulnerable to your team. But it's one of those few moments where you can be more open and more honest to them about where you are.
Yeah.
So it's a good practice.
And it helps them to connect to their feelings. I remember I'm also doing check-in sa office. Someone, I think first time niya na narinig niya sa akin yung check-in, parang kay Jin din kanina. So yung check-in niya was updating about his performance versus his versus his sales targets. So yung check-in niya. So ako, wait, hindi ka magre-report ng sabi niya, John, hit ko na siya by end of the month. Sabi ko, hindi yan. How do you feel?
How are you
feeling? Ganyan. Tapos inulit pa niya, well, I'm feeling good that I'm hitting my target. No, sige. So yun. So you have to teach them. Yun.
Pero parang it's so, I think that's what I really appreciated sa improv. Kasi parang how lahat naman ng mga leadership, workshop, whatever, parang they always tell you be more collaborative, develop empathy, blah, blah, blah. Pero parang parang I think with improv, may tools ka that you practice every week. But na-break down yung being collaborative to yes and, diba? Making your partner look good, listening, etc. Such that parang the way I actually sell improv to my office mates, para siyang brainwashing in a good way. Kasi parang na-rewire talaga yung utak ko to listen and to make others look good, to collaborate, etc.
Yeah, actually nako-cover nga eh. Yung next question ko pa nga is how sorry na ano ko na pala to. Was how you sell or how to tell people. Etong tanong, was there an aha moment that made you realize, no, wait, this isn't just a stage thing. This isn't just something that I do once a week with my class. I can actually do it with when it comes to leading a high performing team or wherever. I mean, obviously now you've integrated it, but go back a little bit to that first moment when you thought, wait a minute, pwede to.
Sige, parang siguro a little bit related to what I mentioned earlier. So yun nga, yung profile ko before very very raw. A part of that is I was also very controlling. I wanted my way, yung way ko yung i-pursue ng team. And I think the aha moment for me was, I think that was the level 5, one of the penultimate showcases that we had.
Teka, let's pause with penultimate. Okay lang ang penultimate. Go. Big word. Go.
Parang yung naging one of the key aha moments for me in the class was parang just because I gave control to my scene partner doesn't mean I lost control as a person. Parang ganon, na parang my aha moment in class was that posible pala na two partners kayo, you are both in control of a scene. So parang dun ako napa-reflect at work as well, na parang nga naman, parang bakit nga ba takot akong mag-provide ng control to my teammates or to other members of the team, when in fact actually it can make your project better pa, diba? Na parang you're all on the same boat and you're all pursuing the same, you're all building on each other's ideas, parang ganun.
It's leadership conversations, no? You learn a lot as a leader through it. Meron ngang comment dito. Siguro kilala mo to. May John, kasi feeling ko medyo related sa iyo yung picture eh. Check-ins bring out a leader's authenticity. What are your thoughts on that?
It's kasi at the end of the day, di ba, you've been a leader for the longest time and people look up to you na if there's a situation or if there's a scenario, they're looking up to you as the leader. What I learned in improv, and I guess this answers also the aha moment, no? Yung aha moment ko doon was, I think, level 3 or level 4 yun. Wait, I don't have to be the leader always na pag may scenario, you have to jump in, ikaw yon. And I realized, wait, mas masaya siya. Mas masaya ko siyang panoodin na nag-unfold yung scene. Tapos, papasok ko lang kung may truth ka doon. Ito, kasi nararamdaman mo naman na, ito talaga, meron ako masasabi dyan. So, hindi mo pipilitin yung sarili mo na, ikaw leader, jump in. Hindi eh. So, that was my aha moment na, so, hanggang ngayon, sa level 5 and all na, nanonood ako, kasi yung truth nila eh. So, it rubs off on you and you get to think about your own truth, your own reflection. And I guess that hi Nanette siya yung nag-post nun. That's why your authenticity comes out. Kasi hindi mo siya pinipilit eh. Hindi mo siya pinipilit. And yeah, so kung may scene, kung wala ka naman talagang eme doon, di wag ka
you don't have to.
Diba? Wag ka humirit. And I guess in life, in improv, if you have nothing value-adding to say, edi makinig ka sa kanila kasi highly likely, mas better and value-adding yung kanila. So I guess listening, yeah.
Chrissie, so I taught Chrissie through 5 levels and our class was called Karambola. At ang tukso sa amin, it's the most a personality A collection that you can ever come across. Lahat talaga, ano,
Rar.
ganon. So, Chrissy, how would you what was that like? In environments where everyone is a type A personality, how did you guys find your way?
It took a while. It took a few
Oo.
levels. And Karambola would know, even up to now, parang we still have days now where we struggle to listen to each other because nga of our personalities. We're also used to initiating and activating everyone and mobilizing people. So, yeah, hindi naman masyado, sasabi ni Vicky. But actually, there are two things that we learned. Number one is yun nga, to stop and let other people take the lead, and you'd be surprised by the magic that comes out. So just like what John said, but we also another thing about being type A is you're so calculated in your head, right? Parang
Mm.
you can't move. Sometimes you're paralyzed because iniisip mo na parang what would people say? No, I want to do this, ganyan. So, and I have to steer it that way. So, and I'm scared to make mistakes. That's another type A, behavior. I'm so scared to make mistakes. So you're stuck in your head. So the big lesson is to get out of your head. Gabe used to always, middle of the scenes, get out of your head, follow your feet. Palagi kaming ginagano ni Gabe. And that's what we learned. But more importantly, it's not just about getting out of your head and following your feet. It's knowing that when you do and when you blurt out something, I don't know, stupid or even not connected to the scene at all, is that people will be there to make sense of it. Diba? Parang yun yung, huwag ka mag-alala because people will make sense of it. Whatever you said, no matter what kind of object work you throw in or you enter with, people will justify that object work. And if you're lucky, it will make up for a hilarious story. So, yun, mas masarap yun. Yun yung mga moments na, oh my God, ang ganda. Ang sarap niya i-process after na parang just by letting go and trusting your teammates to help you. And don't worry, they will make you look good. It will come, maganda yung narrative na magiging output. So, yeah.
It was a joy actually having Karambola as a class because one of my tiny guilty pleasures because I think I'm also a type A personality. Hindi halata. And just to know them individually and to see them how nagpipigil marami sa kanila at scenes. Whereas before it would be chaos because everyone tries to jump in and add something. Just seeing them as they grew na nagpipigil and then as John explained yung waiting for that moment where they can be of most service or thinking of how the scene needs their help or what it needs, even if it means being in the background, providing sound effects or something. That was really, truly, truly something nice to see. We're gonna read some of the comments. And we're gonna feature them and we can comment on them. Sabi ni Vincent, considering the pandemic, I think it's crucial to take note of when people do put in their feelings, targets, and goals. Para say to John, when I guess affirming it, I think HR needs a vision of employee mental health. Maybe that's a future topic. Mga HR, ano naman. And we'll see how how improv has given them insight. Si Joaquin Nax, every day I embrace the chaos of life a little bit more because of improv. Keith is asking, how can I bring the tenets of improv to my company if I'm not in a management position? FYI, I do not understand Tagalog. So, this might be a challenge. How do you bring tenets of improv to my company if I'm not in a management position?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Parang I think it's the ano pa. Maybe it's starting with the confidence to speak up. Knowing that no matter what you say and trusting your teammates. I think those are the two important concepts of improv that are easy to bring in any situation. So it's trusting the people around you and having that confidence to speak up. And when you exercise those two things, it's easy to share ideas and collaborate with people. So even though you're not management, the fact that you're open to people's the fact that you are able to share your ideas, whatever it is in your head, and open to collaborate with other people, then I think that's already improv exercise. And then knowing how the workplace is evolving right now, na gone are the days when only the managers speak, gone are the days when only ideas from managers are valuable. Then this is the time to actually introduce those concepts of this end. Parang, why don't we do this? Why don't we try that for an hour we don't hear the word no? Why don't we try trying yes, saying and yes and to any idea and building up from someone's sharing, and then maybe that's already something improv exercise.
And when you do that, when you do what Chrissy says, na you're just being confident in sharing, people who have the same, who would want to share their own inputs. Oh, I like that person. He shares inputs. Then you form a tribe, you become bigger. So over time, if you continue sharing your own, views, opinions, fearlessly, courageously, people of the same nature would, paano ba yun? They will go to you, and over time, within your organization, even if you're not a manager, you're not a leader, you create this, circle of people who are able to share opinions courageously. Then you're able to, you become happier, because you're able to share, and you're not keeping it inside you, even if you're not a leader.
Maraming support for your inputs over on the chat. +1 on creating your own tribe. See, you are your best proof of concept.
Yeah,
sabi
actually,
ni-
that's what I was gonna say. Na parang, I think it might be a bit trickier if you aren't in a leadership position. I'm not sure if the person who asked it is with a culture na parang I don't know how valid or how the leaders listen to people who aren't in a leadership position. But usually kasi the improv principles are something that other people can't recognize. It's usually us as improvisers that recognize na, oh, di ka nag-yes end, or oy, ikaw you're not really, you're not making your partner look good. But usually it's the non-improvisers, what they notice lang is that people are more collaborative already. So that's why I tend to agree with the person that said na yun nga, you really just have to demonstrate, I guess, the effect of using those tenets in the workplace.
Absolutely. We've been throwing around some concepts that are natauhan lang ako when you said it, Jim, which may need a little bit of explaining to a non-improviser crowd. When we talk about making your partner look good, the way I like explaining it is that in the comedy that we're likely to see, whether especially local, but maybe medyo dun rin sa foreign, usong-uso yung concept sa humor ng laglagan. And that means getting a laugh dahil pinapahiya mo or pinagmumukha mong tanga yung ibang tao. That's super common, and you actually even see it in social circles. Wow, nilaglag mo sa kanyang pare. Wow, laglag siya doon. Medyo nagiging ganun yung culture. And that is one of the things that we really, really try to discourage and get rid of in improvisation. We never have a laugh at the expense of someone, but instead we consciously replace that with a mentality na, oh, I have whatever I do on stage, I have to come at it with an intention to make my partner look good. Hindi ko siya papahiyain, hindi ko siya magpagmumukhang tanga. Here's my question for you na hindi ko alam ang sagot, so pwede nyo nang isipin habang ano. What's the difference? Is there a difference in work between making somebody look good versus saving somebody's ass or covering their ass? rescue or parang ganon. Is there a fine line that needs to be maneuvered or navigated there?
Hirap ah.
Mahirap. Kaya sinabi ko na nga na I don't know the answer to my own question.
Sa improv kasi parang di ba, we are taught to make each other look good. Parang it presupposes kasi that the scene partner will know how to swim. Alam mo yon? Parang
Okay.
alam mo yon? Parang you're helping them out, you're propping them up, but it presupposes that kaya din nilang, alam mo yon, it gets them back on their feet, and then makapag-yes and ulit sila sa inyo and play with you, etc. Parang parang pag saving someone else's ass kasi parang it implies na hahatakin mo sila and you are taking the full responsibility for them to shine, parang ganon.
I think naman I think it's part of it, covering someone's ass and saving someone's ass, for example. Parang it's part of your job to make sure that that person covers all the bases. So covering someone's ass is not necessarily just firefighting for that person or parang fixing the mistakes, but rather parang ikaw, ito na-cover mo na ba to? Ito na-cover mo na ba to? What about this? Kasi based on previous experiences, is what happened. Are you prepared for this to happen? Ganyan. So covering asses can also be that way, and I think it's essential in making someone look good because parang you're parang widening that person's horizon to make him see what that person doesn't see at that point in time. So I think it's part and parcel. Parang it's one and the same. But I think there's still a much bigger value in making someone look good because that's also there's also a lot of coaching involved, and there's a lot of collaboration involved, openness involved. So I think it's one part of it.
Ang ganda. Parang lumiwanag sa akin when you use the word firefighting, which is, tactical, one moment, tapos. And then you juxtaposed it with coaching and a longer-term relationship.
Correct.
John?
Yeah, I guess so to the question, kasi nung una nung sinabi mo, oo nga, no, parang may
ganon.
May gape siya, no, in between. Make the other look good. Tapos, he or she really did something bad. So what do you do? So I guess the bridge is you can actually make him look good or her look good if you tell or you facilitate the learning, diba? So what did you learn from that? What did you learn from that? And I mean, at the end of the day, it's not you who's gonna. I mean, the best person to solve someone's problem is actually that person. So I guess it's still making that person look good because you're allowing him or her to learn na similar to what Chrissie said na and what Jin said na hindi kita hihilahin at the end of the day, it's not sustainable kung lagi kitang every time na you did something shitty, hihilahin kita. It's not that. But I want to make you look good on a long term. And the way to do that is that I will facilitate for you to learn continuously from these things that you are doing so that over time, you'll be able to look good. So I guess the bridge between the two is the learning facilitation to what Chrissie mentioned, from firefighting to coaching, parang ganun.
And also, I'd like to add, Gabe, if it's okay, parang,
yes.
Just adding that room for failure is also very important. So I think one of the concepts in improv that is valuable is that just follow your feet and get out of your head, do something, and don't worry because your teammates will always be here to catch you. Siyempre, ibang story na yun kung palagi na lang siyang saving the corporate world because, money is involved, KPIs are being measured, Pero it's also giving them wiggle room to make mistakes and having that intentional schedule to discuss why parang ano yung nangyari dun sa mistakes na yun and actually learn from it. I think it's part of making someone look good as well.
Actually, this segues, go ahead, Jim.
Actually, now that I think about it nga, baka naman, now that I think about it, sometimes all people need lang is parang to help them get back on their feet. Kasi minsan talaga may malulunod ka talaga, di ba? Not just in the workplace but in improv as well. You know, alam mo yung one of the things we are taught, I think, in class, di ba, is parang to be more perceptive if your teammate or groupmate is stuck na. Parang medyo ano na siya, nalulunod na siya. And ikaw as the team partner or the teammate, you just jump in to save them even if ikaw mismo hindi mo pa alam how to save them. And parang siguro the learning then is parang that is actually enough already na parang pares kayo hindi nyo alam anong ginagawa nyo. But because it's now it's the two of you, parang medyo you're both getting back on your feet and now you saved the other person pero then you allowed them to shine na. Yun lang pala yung kailangan niya.
You know, this conversation juxtaposes na naman. Transitions very nicely to conversations on coaching because the three companies you're with, they have strong coaching cultures. And I'm sure you have people whom you coach or mentor. How has this made you a better coach or a mentor?
Mauna ako, di ba?
Go.
Lalo na ngayon in this time, di ba, virtual. You easily get to them na ano. Simulan mo lang sa zip, zap, zop eh. Ano ka? So, zip, zap, zop forever. It's a game, di ba, that we do. So, when we do coaching, hindi diretso ka agad coaching. Una, check-in muna, usap muna, and then play. Yung kwentuhan lang muna. Yung kulitan muna, anong huli mong pinanood sa Netflix, anong ginagawa mo ngayon. So it helps because I think what I've gotten from improv is I developed this innate curiosity sa mga tao because you want you want to know their truth and nadadala mo yun na kasi sa scene gusto mo curious ka anong mangyayari, anong mag-unfold. So now when you go to this coaching mentoring thing, instead of bringing something to tell that person, ito gawin mo, hindi. What you bring is curious ako, ano kayang nangyari sa kanya, anong pinagdadaanan niya, anong meron sa kanya. And I guess that's a powerful coaching technique because it shows that you're just listening and facilitating. And mentoring coaching, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like that. You facilitate the person to discover, for him or her to discover what can he or she do, diba? So yun, the improv taught me to be innately curious for to the person that I am talking to, and it helps. Mas madaldal yung kausap mo ngayon. Tapos over time, ma-realize niya, ay, ang dami ko nang sinabi. Oo nga, no, parang ito yung solution sa kailangan kong sa problema ko.
And it really creates an atmosphere in the room. In the coaching session na, oh my God, this person isn't just interested in me as a cog in the machine. But may innate curiosity, maraming fans ng innate curiosity, talaga sa buhay. Di ba?
For me naman, parang shift siya in mindset from trying to mold a certain person A to be person B, to having person A discover himself and his potential. Parang ganon. Kasi I think that's one of the learnings din that
Gusto ko yun.
Diba? Parang isa rin sa mga learnings sa improv, parang before ko, when I was in level 3, and then I would watch a level 5 show, kasi parang, hala, kaya ko ba yun? Parang hindi ko naman kaya mag-English chart. Parang, hala, parang you're already assessing yourself with respect to what level 5 is doing, the personal stories that they're bringing. But then, through the course of yung classes, parang you discover na, dapat pala, you bank on your own personal truth, you bank on your own strength as a player. So parang then the mindset shifts na rin to you parang nurturing what is innate in each person. Parang ganon.
Absolutely. Before we go with that further, I think there's a question which we all can relate to from Charles in a coaching setup when you're checking in, when you have that innate curiosity. How do you break the wall between work and personal life in work kamustahans? Minsan kasi that boundary is in place to protect themselves also.
Starts with you. Ikaw muna. As a leader and someone who initiates, I speak from personal experience. Pauso ko yung check-in sa office and in my team. And naturally, as expected, people were kind of hesitant. Just the same way when we were hesitant in class number 1, level 1. Parang,
Yeah.
why would I share what happened to my day to these strangers? So, and it starts with you. You share, and then you become vulnerable to your teammates. And from there, parang, okay, ganun din pala yung nafe-feel the person A. So, okay, I can totally relate to that. Now, there was a question I had back at work, saying na parang, when do you know, how do you draw a fine line dun sa ano yung i-share mo? Because sometimes it becomes overshare na, parang what do you share? So, kunwari, if you're a leader, if you're a manager, parang the trick that I have is, well, first of all, just be vulnerable and kasi it really starts with trusting your teammates na, this is a safe space. Ayun din pala, it's very important to create, parang establish that safe space na, ito tayo, this is going to be our cadence for the entire year, and then trust that everything that we speak or say within this meeting is parang it stays here. So establishing that safe space, number 1. Number 2 is sharing. And then if you're really conscious about what to share, then think about, if I share this to my teammates, would they be able to relate? Or do you think they would be happy to hear that you also felt the same way? Or kunwari, if you're a manager sometimes, kasi syempre madami rin naman tayong worries na, oh my God, yung top management, mukhang hindi na tayo bibigyan ng bonus. Syempre, share mo ba sa mga tao ngayon? Syempre, hindi. So you think about whether it will be helpful for the team when you open up or not. Kung kunwari gusto mo talagang maging conscious. But yeah, it starts with you, and you have to establish the safe space first.
Agree.
Same.
Same.
Copy paste.
Marami, in fairness, marami rin naman ng mga nagsasame sa comments. Sabi ni Sean, I agree kay Chrissie, the newbies in our work really start opening up when they realize that you're someone they can talk to about certain things. Yun lang, minsan nagiging oversharer din sila. So we're hitting about an hour, and patuloy pa rin ang mga comments, patuloy pa rin ang mga questions. If you have any specific questions for us about improv and its place in the workplace, please just put it in the comments, and we'll be happy to talk to you about that.
Siguro,
yes, go ahead.
Yung sinabi ni Chrissie na parang, yes, I agree na starting by being vulnerable yourself can work. Parang another way to go about it din siguro is to be genuinely curious with your teammates as people. Ikaw na yung magtanong. Kasi ako, the leaders that I find most inspiring to work with and to work for is parang, alam mo yung kino-consider ka as a person and not as an employee.
Tao.
Yung ganong feeling na parang interested siya sa buhay mo, parang invested siya sa life mo, parang gano'n. So maybe you can show that interest in with your teammates.
And actually, you know what? When you know these things about your teammates, it's easy to draw it also. Kunwari, kailangan mo silang i-pep talk about something. Then you use that knowledge, kung ano yung mga na-share nila sa'yo, mapupunot mo yun as inspiration for them, or they come in handy also, this kind of, parang the things that you learn about your teammates, they come in handy also, eventually.
And once I think I'll share this because I've actually had experience doing improv sessions for all your companies. And one particularly fun engagement that we had about maybe 5 or 6 years ago na was with the factory heads of your company, Jin. as in the factory, the ones in charge of the factory. And we played samurai with them. Hung, chi, po, all of that. It was all the factory heads, huh? And then I was able to see them in another section. And you know how people who run factories are. They're very, you know, they're all about their KPIs. They're very data driven. They're very stiff. Some of them are foreign. Na ganon. And then I was able to see one of them in another session, parang months later. And then he came up to me and told me, you know, that was really, really fun. When I come across these people on the factory floor now, suddenly somebody will shout, "Who? Chief!" And then they start playing it in the corridor while they pass each other. And these are these are improv warm-ups that I'm describing. But it's funny how for them, from a very serious, always numbers-driven, metrics-driven, safety-driven culture, that they were able to play a little bit more.
Right.
May and that's certainly one thing that I remember. Joseph is asking this question, which I love. Maybe this is from the point of view of a training provider, maybe, because Joseph is a third-party consultant as well. And I guess this comes across as a question. How do you evaluate the effectiveness of improv in corporate terms? Maybe I'll try to answer it also, because I've had experience with this. There are metrics depending on what you used it for. For example, we've used improv to improve the ability of frontliners to engage irate customers and de-escalate situations. So may specific behaviors and may specific markers yon. And the way we measured that was, there's the yes and concept in improv. We adapted it a little bit in a frontline irate situation and used this phrase, which I learned in the Applied Improv Network. It's what I like about your idea. Finding something to like about, kahit minumura ka na, find something to like about what the irate person is saying, and then using it in conversation to engage. And one story that happened as a result of that is meron daw isang beses in that company store, galit na customer. Tapos minumura na daw talaga sila yung mga frontline personnel. And then the branch manager, the store manager, was able to remember yung what I like about this idea. Tapos na halata niya na she was from the Visayas, and she recognized the accent as being from a particular part of the Visayas. So tinanong niya, "Are you from this town?" And immediately, the complexion of the irate customer changed and said, "Oh, thank God," in their language. "Oh, thank God. One of my kababayans. Let's sit down. I really want to tell you what's going on with me." And she gave that as an example of sort of a yes and. You don't yes and everything, but you try and find something to like in that situation. So in that case, it was the ability that they are able to use specific tools learned in improv for a behavior that you can measure. Do you guys have any thoughts on this?
Agree ako na parang at the end of the day, si improv really just provides the tools Para, of course, they're very, very powerful tools, pero I think, and I'm sure si John and Chrissy can agree na parang it's something that we found can be so easily applied to work, even if it's not a brainstorming setting. Alam mo yun, even if it's not a creative setting, talagang siya So, agree ako na the way you measure it is in the behaviors talaga. That primary na intention mo.
Yeah.
I have two thoughts on it. The first one is if you really want to measure it. I think there's no hindi siya ano 1:1. So what you can do is you measure the overall engagement or overall satisfaction of your employees that are constantly practicing improv. Para siyang kumari sa product is net promoter score, di ba? Parang, so you try to deduce it na lang.
Sorry, talaga ako nag-pause lang ako na, I just telling you that I appreciate your net promoter score, dropping that. I love that, okay.
For other people who aren't, who need explanation kung ano yung net promoter score, siya, parang basically how willing is this person to suggest your product to other people. That's how much they love your product. So sometimes, if you want an ultimate measure about how good your brand is, it's in net promoter score. You measure it. So ganun din, parang if you want an ultimate measure about how effective improv is how well engaged the people involved are. The second thing is that sometimes parang improv tools are not necessarily the best way to apply improv tools is not in like fixed environment. Okay, today we're going to do improv. That beats the purpose. So siya parang you ginamit ni Ariel na word is permeate, diba? Parang ipapasok mo siya, i-assimilate mo siya sa everyday na hindi masyadong pansin, and then people will just really people will be surprised that they're already doing improv. So it's not necessarily. I remember asking Gabe back in class, what is Third World Improv's KPI? And
at natuwa ako sa tanong. Sabi ko, konti lang nagtatanong niyan.
And yun nga, parang we realize na hindi, because it's actually how I think tama ba, Gabe, it's in the connections that you that you develop and how deep those connections are. So you apply the tools on a daily basis na mas hindi siya structured, and that's when you will really get the most out of it. Yeah. Yes, improv is sneaky, Aaron. Or Aaron is correct.
Ako, if I may add, on the effectiveness of this has been over the past few months. I'm trying to inject yung concept of psychological safety sa unit that I am working with, and I think improv is a very good approach to to inject psychological safety in such a manner na lalo na ngayon nitong pandemic, no? I mean mental health is a big issue, and I wanted to make sure that our unit has psychological safety. So I said, paano ko to gagawin? So yun nga, you started with check-in, you allow people to share, and hindi ikaw lagi yung mag-iisip ng solution. You let them be. You let them come up with their own, and then again, walang masamang suggestion. Yes. Sabi, okay, that's a good one, develop it. So to the question of how effective is improv, it goes back, what do you want to achieve?
Yes.
So in this example that I mentioned, it was psychological safety. You don't get it. You start doing it today. You don't get it tomorrow. It's over time, because you can't go about saying, no, I'm doing improv. It's kagaya ng sinabi ni Chrissie. You do it in a subtle manner. The behavior, you model it. You coach people. You make fun of yourself, diba? Kasi your own truth, maski hindi mo siya gawing katatawanan, pag kinwento mo yung sarili mong katotohanan, nakakatawa siya diba? So I always make fun of myself na minsan yung mga tao nahihiya sila to say yung mga nila, yung pangit sa kanya. I would tell people na pinanganak akong hindi na tumangkad so ganito na ako, diba? So when people say that, talaga sinasabi niya, gift yun gift yun na hindi ako matangkad, kasi kung matangkad ako, baka artista ako, diba? So yung gano'n. So but so you show a lot of examples, hoping that over time they would model that. And these things that we've learned in improv, if you want it to be effective, be clear with what you want to achieve, and then you model it. Then over time, you reinforce it. Yeah, I guess that's my take on that one.
It's a culture thing rather than an output thing. Parang ganon. So parang yung atake mo to try and permeate it in the organization is yun nga, parang the way you would treat a culture as well. You lead by example, you model it, etc.
Oo, meron akong naisip habang pinag-uusapan niyo 'to at, dumikit kasi masyado yung Net Promoter Score sa akin, eh. Si Noel merong tanong, "How can you make your boss take an improv class?" So using a concept of, the Net Promoter, imagine yourself in a situation where you are, having a one-on-one conversation with your boss. How would you, we don't have to name your boss or you don't have to call them out, but I'm gonna go through a role play right now and a scene na isa-isahin ko kayo, tapos you're gonna sit down with your boss and convince them to take improv in 1 minute or less. Who wants to be first?
May scene work pala to.
May scene work kasi parang we keep talking about it. Tapos sabi ni Chrissie, Net Promoter Score. So I kind of wanna see the Net Promoter behavior in action. Ano? Chrissie? Pwede ko siyang mabuli ng konti. Kasi naging estudyante ko. 3, 2, 1, scene.
Naka-mute ka.
Nakamute ka.
Nakamute ako. Sir, pinatawag mo daw po ako.
Yes. Yes, Chrissie.
Yes, sir. Is this about, sir? Is this about the collaboration meeting that we had yesterday with the sales team?
Oo, I'm a bit concerned because the sales are not what I expected. And you seem to be taking a lot of these improv classes, Chrissie, ah?
Oo nga, sir. Actually, sir, I've been thinking about that nga po because I noticed that a lot of the sales people keep saying no. That's been a struggle for marketing people po, that the sales team keep saying that we can't do things on the ground. So sir, I was thinking maybe we can enroll the team for like kahit mga 3-hour session lang, including yourself, sir. Tapos we'll just learn some concepts na how to facilitate discussions and collaborations. Baka po,
How will that improve our sales?
Sir, sometimes, it's not just about the actual volume that we sell, but it's the people behind the people that sell. So the investment should be on the people and how well we connect with each other. So, yun sir, I think 3 hours. Try mo lang sir, may teaser class na bilin ko na ba sa get to, yun? Ticket to me? 500 lang.
If you could put it in one statement, ano ba yung core value ng improv class na yan? And how does it dovetail with our bayanihan spirit?
Ay nako sir, alam mo, it's very aligned with the bayanihan value of Unilab, sir, no? Because we believe in improv. Pinag-aralan po namin yan for 5 levels that we all need each other to make to make beautiful scenes. So if our beautiful scene is hitting 100% of our target, sir, then it has parang kailangan people po have to work with each other. On the spot ako. We have to work with each other very well. When we're a well-oiled machine, knowing each other's contribution to that goal, and we facilitate collaboration more seamlessly, then sir, I think we will really achieve that volume.
Okay. I will give the go signal and I will promote you. Basta hanapan mo ng budget yung training na yan. It's
Sir,
not coming from me.
Sige sir, no problem. Patawag ko na po ba sir yung head ng sales natin?
Yay, Chrissie!
And sir, may promo code naman po yung Third World Improv.
Wow!
Yes.
may promo code ang Third World Improv. Ang ano if you can actually register for a class there. thirdworldimprov.com registration. We actually have, parang nahihiya ako na mag-sell pero trabaho rin natin yan. We actually have a teaser class, ladies and gentlemen, at yan ang teaser class natin. We have one next Saturday. Next Saturday, registration is there. Si Ding Dong will be the one giving that teaser class. At meron ding, at yun naman ang schedule ng level 1 natin, which is starting April 21. We have Wednesday night classes and we have Saturday night classes. You can have and experience improv through this. Syempre, we're buying time. Kasi ang next person na gagawa natin ng eksena, si Jin.
Hala. Pwedeng hindi in a scene.
Okay. Sige. So, pitch lang talaga. Pitch lang talaga. Go!
No, kasi siguro to share na rin. Parang talagang binebenta ko siya.
Sige. Sige.
Parang recently kasi, recently, alam mo yung may ina-assign sa'yo na mentor, na coach, ganyan. And then, syempre, you talk about your leadership journey. Kasi I would explain din na, I was so focused on myself, but lately, I'm focused on the goals of the team. Parang ganon, parang putting the goals of the team before yourselves. Parang ganyan. And then, syempre, baka curious sila na, bakit? Blah, blah, blah. So, dun ko parang nasisingit yung actually, I've been taking improv classes for the longest time and I found talaga na it adjusts your mindset and your thinking talaga to put others before you So yun. So in that manner ko siya binibenta. And actually, I have one boss and I brought this up na rin I think to sila Bibay na parang some bosses are quite keen on enrolling their children or enrolling certain members of their team. So yun. So nabenta ko naman siya ata. Hindi lang to the boss itself. Kailangan ata natin ng parang boss edition na teacher class.
Oo. Gagawin ko sanang eksena, si Kais ang bebentahan mo
Naku, hindi ako prepared mag-English this morning.
for John, how might you sell it?
Sige, may one-on-one tayo sa presidente. Sige, scene tayo. Sige,
Scene. Ano dyan? Kamusta ka na?
Ay, sir. Ayos naman. Well, hirap nitong pandemic, but I think we're coping better than before. I actually want to thank you for this one-on-one meeting. And I wanted to ask you, versus the previous years that I've been working with you, can I get feedback? What is it you've seen that has improved? Alam mo naman, di ba, dati palamura ako, or mumura ako, ganyan, or
mas magaling ka nga magmura kaysa sa akin Oo. Ikaw lang nakakasabay sa akin
or sabi mo sa akin, liit-liit kong tao ang siga-siga ko. I mean, as I improve ba or what? I mean, I'm not trying to ask you to give me good, but I just want to hear honest feedback from you.
Okay naman. Lately, parang napansin ko naman na medyo. Sabi ng team mo, mas pasensyoso ka nga. Ngayon, parang mas nakakagalaw sila around you.
Talaga. Yeah, that's good. Alam mo yung change na yan. I thought all along hindi ko siya kayang gawin But I got it from attending this class and doing theater work, I don't know if you're familiar with improv. Narinig mo na ba yan?
Oo. Stand-up ba yan? Stand-up comedy ba yan?
Well, parang siya, pero it's more than that eh. It's improvisational acting na yun, syempre nakakatawa, pero sometimes hindi din naman necessarily comedic yung yung scenes. No, I wanted to share that with you because I think I've been doing some reflection. It has really helped me eh. It has really helped me to calm down, to be more perceptive. Yung mga ganyan, mga ganung... And I thought all along, yeah, soft skills yan, hindi na yan kailangan, alam na natin yan, tagal-tagal ko ng leader, ganyan. So, yeah.
Paano siya makakatulong sa rolling base growth natin?
Well, I actually wanted to ask you, do you think there would be an opportunity for you to have the same changes happening in you?
Ba, okay yan ah. O sige, curious ako. Sa tingin mo, paano ba makakatulong sa akin?
Sige, actually, gusto mo sir, gift ko sa'yo for Christmas. I'll enroll you sa level 1. Gift ko sa'yo for Christmas.
Yeah.
Level 1 na rin.
Galing. So, ang entrada mo, boss, pansin mo, gumaling ako, di ba? As a person.
Galing.
Try mo rin.
Wala, natuwa lang ako na napasok ko ang rolling base growth. It's a very...
Actually, muntik ako mapahinto eh. Ay, alam ni Gabe.
Alam ko ang mga KPI. So, I've had a lovely conversation with all of you. And it's really very interesting for me to talk about this, yung how improv, which started out as a stage thing, is really impacting the lives of people who take it. Yung binanggit nga ni Chrissie dati, nung tinanong niya ako about KPI ng Third World Improv, and to this day nakikiliti pa rin ako because only somebody who thinks like Chrissie can think of that. And for us, it's always been, our KPI has always been, are you becoming better people and better citizens through your practice of improvisation, where our KPI is not that we make the funniest people or we make the best performers, because that can be very subjective and our teaching method would completely change. It would become a conservatory style, kung ganon. But our KPI is, are you becoming better? Are you having better friends? Are you becoming better citizens, whether Philippine or corporate citizens, through improv? And even the focus tuloy is not on improv, but to improve as a person through it. So through your stories, I'm really happy to learn that it's made an impact on you as leaders, as teammates, as family members, and all of that. So if you could have just one last thing as we wrap up today's great session, what would it be to sort of encapsulate how improv has helped you in your entire life and not just necessarily as a corporate person? Malalim na naman ba?
Saktong lalim lang.
Okay.
Siguro for me, okay, medyo non-corporate na of course. Pero parang how improv really has helped me. Ang pinaka tumatak sa akin talaga is, alam mo yung statement na you are a gift, na enough ka na. Parang you don't need to, alam mo yon, to try and change yourself to be like this other person. Alam mo yon, it's really just you owning who you are and what you can offer already. And talagang sobrang nagbago, I think, yung mindset ko in life. Kasi I stopped trying to prove myself to
At
everybody.
every
Alam mo
turn.
yun?
Yeah.
At every, alam mo yun, in every situation, naging ano. So, kaya din, oh, so I think in that way, naging happier ako as a person din. And I think, surprisingly, that has reflected in my work as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Jin.
Yeah. For me,
Go Isa. Go Chrissy.
I go ahead, John.
Sorry.
First.
Ako naman.
Ikaw muna.
Sige, ako ba una?
Me.
Sige, if
Ikaw
Jean
na,
was
ikaw na.
saying, if Jean was saying na you are a gift and you are enough, siguro dugtong ko na lang same din sa akin when Gabe asked it. Batiin ko muna pala yung class ko. Magpapabati
Yes.
sila. Hello, almost friends. Yan.
Almost friends.
Thank you, Chester. Thank you, Herbs. Yeah. So, if Jean said, yeah, talaga, everything is a gift. Lalo na in these times, we're all surrounded by, bad things, and of course there are goods. And this bad things, these good things, when you realize that everything is a gift, these bad things, they're one and the same. They're one and the same, and you just embrace both. You just embrace both, and you mix your own. And then I guess you'd be fine. You'd be fine. Because when that everything is a gift, you'd be more grateful, even if it's a bad thing. Even if it's a bad thing. Because that bad thing is a gift for you. It has something for you. And it helps me. I mean, nowadays, when we talk about mental health, right? Because sometimes you try to fight off things. I don't want this to happen. This is so stressful. Why is it I planned for this? This happened. So instead of having that, I have a mindset that everything is a gift. You'll be calmer. You'd be a better person. You'd be a better friend to everyone. Yeah.
Ganda.
And I thank you. Parang Bucon lang.
Thank you, Bucon. Thank you, John. Chrissy.
For me, everything that Jin and John said are very true. Yung everything is a gift, and then you can listen and connect more with people. And so I want to throw in the importance of play in life, especially kunwari for people who are in corporate, alam mo yan, you're trained to act in a more calculated, more parang careful way, and parang you're trained to have a professional persona, right? So I just want to emphasize the importance of play, just to loosen up, and even it helps you warm up with the people around you, and it makes work fun. It makes work a lot more fun. Even working with your own teams or cross-functional teams, ang laking bagay nun sa akin. And I think I even applied it in my personal life. The fact that people were surprised that I joined, I think are still surprised up to now. Parang in disbelief pa rin sila. It added more color to a rather, very serious, very straightforward persona, or what they know of me. So, yun, the importance of play is malaking bagay yung tinuturo ng laro. Actually, it's one of the things that I use when I try to explain improv. We're not acting. Instead, we are playing. And it's fun. It's something that you look forward to every time there's a schedule na I get to play. So, yun nga, you get to relax and have fun and laugh at yourself, laugh at your teammates, laugh at the scene that you're making, and it will really parang resonate throughout the day and the week for you. So that's for me.
Lovely, Chrissy. And I guess just to end it, my teacher, Paul Sills, improv games were first, one of the sources of improv games was the games that Viola Spolin, the mother of Paul Sills, used to play. And these became our improv games, etc. And one of the things that Viola and Paul insisted on is to not call the people who were playing the games actors. Sabi nila, they are players. So let's have more players here. And that's what I remembered when you said we're not acting, we're playing. So with that, thank you so much to our lovely, lovely guests, Jin, Chrissy, and John, for a truly substantial conversation. This is Eye to Eye. This has been our second episode. If you have ideas or topics that you really want to know more of regarding improvisation, this is the place to do it. We hold it more or less every other Sunday at this time. Thank you so much for watching. And if you were interested at all in improv classes, then again, an improv class will be happening next Saturday, 3 to 5. And the level 1 classes for you to start doing it regularly, these are once a week for 8 weeks. They happen Wednesday evenings and Saturday afternoons. If you're interested in taking any of these classes, all you have to do is go to the website thirdworldimprov.com/registration right there to enroll, at may pa-promo code na pinapaulan once in a while dyan sa chat natin. So thank you everyone and have a great rest of your day.
Why should you study in Third World Improv? Because we're fun.
It's a great way to overcome your shyness, to get over some of your self-confidence issues, and to make new friends.
You should take improv now because what else are you gonna do?
Because now is the time for you.
Because it's about time to stop being too preoccupied with those swipe rights.
It's time you take your life into your hands and make the most of it. It's time you make real friends who you know how to have fun with and who know how to have fun with you.
Hindi lang ikaw ang bongga, makakapagpabongga ka pa ng iba.
And we do this online.
In a fun way.
Duh!
It's about time to say yes to you.
Let's have fun!
Join us. Sign up for a class.
Basta, di ka na! Hintay-hintay ka pa dyan. Let's go!